it's obviously it's something I've contemplated for the past couple of seasons. So it's not like it's been thrown upon me. So it's not like it's been a real decision I've had to labour on too long. It just felt like this year was right. I think that obviously number of games I've been involved with this year, and I don't know if the way the season's panned out played any part of that mentally, but yeah, it just felt this year was the right time.
I think obviously Sean's been a fantastic player for many years, hasn't he? And give us enough trouble over the years. So, but yeah, he's obviously he deserves every plaudit he gets, and he's been a fantastic player. What a leader, not just only at Wigan but internationally as well. And yeah, he's obviously he's decided his time is now, and I think everyone's got nothing but respect for him.
Obviously, crowds have been a big talking point, and not having them there has been difficult at times. But I think the way the game's come across on TV has been fantastic, and people watched it. But yeah, I think the position we've found ourselves in now, going into a grand final, it'll be as special as any other. Obviously, the crowd won't be there to witness it, but you feel like you're still representing the sport, and there's still going to be plenty of people out there watching who would love to be there and haven't had a chance to go to games. So I'm sure the eyes on the game will be as big as ever.
Me and James are the same age group, so as kids we kind of played against each other at first, and then later on, once we start getting selected for town teams and stuff like that, in our teenage years we played together, and obviously our story kind of evolved through Saints at the same time. But yeah, it was brilliant to get him back. When Luke Thompson left this year, and it obviously opened up an opportunity to bring James Graham back. It was a bit of a no-brainer because what he brings, not just only on the field, but his attitude and the way he carries himself off the field, is brilliant, and he's great for a lot of young lads who maybe have only seen him playing on the television over in Australia, and they get the opportunity to work with him now on a daily basis and see what it's about, and what it takes to be a veteran, obviously player at the top of their game.
There's kind of both ends of the spectrum. Obviously, Lammy now coaching me, someone who was involved with when I first came into the first team, but also on the flip side of that, some of the young lads who were playing alongside it, I've kind of seen them come through from scholarship and things like that. So there's both extremes. Either side of it makes me feel old. It must make Lammy feel even older.
There's no getting away from the rivalry and I suppose the hostility of a Saints Wigan derby, and as Lockers will be the same. From he's a hometown lad, played his whole career at Wigan. I'm the same at St Helens, and it's kind of just drummed into you from an early age. And obviously, it's a shame that we can't have the fans there because it would have been one hell of an occasion and an atmosphere. But I'm sure both towns will be all glued to the televisions and watching it, and we'll both be doing our best to get the result.
There's no shying away from it. It's going to be different. I think the fact there's no crowd there is the biggest thing what's going to be different. But the stadium, not having an opportunity to play at a stadium like Old Trafford is definitely something a lot people haven't experienced that will miss out on. But I think to go to Old Trafford and not be in front of fans, it's almost like it's something you never want to do. I think it's keeping it a general ground or a neutral ground within Super League. It's not going to be great, obviously, with no fans, but I think the boys have got used to that now. I think not being at Old Trafford, the boys won't get a chance to go there again when there will be a crowd. It almost keeps that. It'll keep that memory fresh in their minds. But it's the stadium. There's no shying away from it. It's going to be different. But the boys have had enough practice of it now throughout the teams and throughout the Super League to get to grips with it. And the intensity is different, but it's the importance of the game is what will drive it on Friday.
Obviously, I suppose with the way this year's gone, it's almost it's to be expected that it's a different venue with the no fans and stuff, and I think every team's got used to adjusting on the way and being flexible with who you're playing and where you're playing and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, it's our job to just get on with it, and no matter where we play a Saints Wigan derby, if it was over the field, in a public park, then you'd still get the same intensity out of the players. So yeah, it's a little bit different for us, and we'll probably have to almost create a little bit of atmosphere ourselves. But yeah, once that whistle goes and the game kicks off, then all concentration will be on the game, and I'm sure it'll be just as it would normally with fans there.
Not so much looking at them as individuals, probably more them as if you divide them up, like kind of the middles and then their edges. It's looking at the threats what are on in them areas. Obviously, the pack Rob's on at the back of any pack rolling forward is going to be dangerous. So they've got kind of big fellas like ice worms who get some rolling. So but it's nothing. It's nothing new. It's what they've been doing for a long time, but dealing with it is a different story. And then their edges have got class in them all over the place. So it's just kind of doing your own work, knowing what's coming, and then just trying your best to stop it. And then on the flip side, we'll be doing exactly the same, trying to ask questions of them, and they'll be trying to stop us. But you can't really pick out too many individuals because of the talent what's throughout the squad.
Across the park, they're a very strong team, and obviously with Sean in the side, they'll be lifted. He'll probably add that little bit of, something extra, an extra ingredient, if you like. But yeah, and then obviously, I think people have talked about all year, Bevan French at the back, very dangerous player. You don't want to give him too much space. I think Sam Powell's had a fantastic year, if he's going to play or not. Jackson Hastings, likes to run the ball, dangerous player yet again. They've got loads, and obviously, their outside backs, they carry the ball a lot. You've got likes of Hardacre, Gildart, centres who, like to take you on the inside as well. So it's pretty much, they're a full collective as a team, and they play like a team, obviously. And, we know that from that game the other week. We're going to have to be at our best if, we want to get a result.
It becomes a little bit, even more important, the fact that they're not there, they're not getting the chance to be a part of the atmosphere, being part of enjoying the game. Obviously, Wigan Saints games, grand finals are always supported massively well. So there's a lot of people who are going to be upset they can't get there. A lot of people go grand finals, whether it's their clubs are there or not. So there's a lot of people, not just Wigan Saints fans, who aren't getting an opportunity to experience it this year. So I think you're carrying a bit more pressure on you there to go out there and make it a special occasion for them to watch it TV. And I think there's a massive amount of people want to see the game, want to see a great game, and yeah, we'll be trying to do our best to entertain.
It's been a pretty rubbish year for a lot of people, hasn't it? And a lot of people have suffered some sort of hardship due to COVID, whether it's loss of family members or loved ones, or people have lost their jobs, or people are doing it tough financially at the minute because of a knock-on effect. And I think, stuff like that really, or sport, if you like, kind of gives them almost a bit of a release. And, the whole town will definitely be watching Saints v Wigan, as will, all the spectators in Wigan. And I think, if we can get the result, it will give them a huge boost, won't it? Because they've obviously been missing that. They've been missing the fix of live sport. And also, it'd be a bit of a thank you from our end as well, because I know, for example, at the club, the people who bought season tickets in advance, I know a number of them have, kind of refunded or donated, if you like, the season ticket money to the club to help out financially. And I'm sure they've done similar things at other clubs. And, I just think it'd be, a really great way we could, say thank you and give everyone a bit of a boost.
I've dipped into the academy probably for like I said, past 4 or 5 years. I've had a bit of a hand in going down there and doing bits of training with them, and keeping an eye on game day stuff and watching them. So yeah, it's been great seeing some of the lads come through, and obviously when they get to first team level, getting to play with them is kind of a surreal experience, because you've seen some of them come through as kind of 14, 15, 16-year-old lads. But you mentioned all the P.M. Morgan, they came in to the system as scholarship lads. So at 15, they were probably on the pitch signing the scholarships just before we go out and play. So it's a pretty surreal kind of experience seeing some of them boys come through and getting a chance to play with them. And but yeah, I think it's a different it's almost like a different pleasure at this point in my career. I think when you get that bit older, seeing that side of things you take a little bit more from that, especially when you've kind of been down, seen them train, see the work they put in, see the amount of effort the academy staff put into them, and then seeing them progress through it's pretty nice to watch.
Obviously, we all want fans there, and it's almost sad to say we've kind of got used to playing without fans as this year's gone on. But yeah, like you say, we've just got to, whenever we get a chance to, to create a bit of atmosphere or create a bit of volume amongst ourselves, such as a try or, a good tackle, or someone's done something that needs rewarding from our end, then, by all means, we've got to, do that and try and, create a little bit of atmosphere, because normally you'd get that roar, if you like, or the feedback from the crowd, but it's obviously not there. So it is a little bit different, and we'll try and, like you say, create that atmosphere. But there's no getting away from the fact that it'll be very quiet on the sides.
The standard of the game, almost at times, you shut off from the crowd, and then big games where the intensity is very high. As much as the crowd add to that, I think sometimes when you're at that kind of level where you're hanging in there and you're sucking the big ones in, you're almost becoming your little bubble on the pitch. And I think the more intense the game is on the field, almost like the less you're aware of the crowd at times. So I'm expecting this to be a massive game. I think the game a few weeks back was probably one of the most intense we'd seen this year, especially since coming out of lockdown. So I'm just expecting the same. I think some of your players, some of your more vocal players come into their own in these scenarios as well. You've got some, obviously, guys that celebrate things going on in games more than others, and I think they kind of almost push that intensity a little bit and get the kind of the volume of the players going at times.
It's an achievement in itself, obviously, to go back-to-back grand finals, and then obviously to go back-to-back titles would be extra special. And yeah, it's not been done many times at all. It definitely shows how difficult it is, and obviously we'll be doing everything we can to achieve that. But yeah, it's not very often. So any team that can achieve that, definitely deserves recognition.
I think we'll obviously feel it's the biggest rivalry in rugby. I think the kind of weird thing is I'm not saying we spend loads of time with each other off the field, but we're pretty familiar with each other, a lot of the boys, especially the English lads. We're very familiar. If you play at Wigan or St, you've probably been involved with internationals together, so you get to know the boys pretty well. But come game day, the weight of kind of the Towns is on your shoulder a little bit, and I think that's what drives the dislike for each other as a club. I think that it comes from the spectators, and I think whenever you put the shirt on and you go out there, whatever game it may be, there's some expectations on your shoulder to deliver.
I think what adds to it as well, the Saints Wigan thing, is obviously how successful both clubs are. They're both well respected, well run, successful clubs who are well known for that fact. So that definitely kind of adds to it, and it's almost kind of, we're always trying to outdo each other, if you like. We're always competing, and it's almost a mini battle between the two towns right next to each other. Both kind of pretty similar in size, and I suppose a lot of other factors. But yeah, people around here just love rugby league, and I suppose it's all we've been brought up with as kids.